Movement. Please welcome Kurt and Jen. Hey.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
How you doing?
We are so excited to have you guys joining Candidly Krystal tonight. Thanks for hanging out. You got to see some lash apply. Kurt, how do you feel? Can we get some on you? Oh, look at it.
I mean, he says that his lashes are okay, but I think that he could use some magnetic lashes.
We all could.
I was blessed with some very nice natural lashes, so I'm not against them, but
I beg to differ, but it's okay.
I feel like we're all like winking at each other to show our just lashes off tonight.
Well, we want to thank you guys for joining us. For those who aren't familiar, not only are you guys now podcasters with Kurt and Jen Make a Podcast, you guys are also improv comedians right here locally in Tucson at the Tucson Improv Movement. I want to know first about the podcast. Where did you guys decide to come up with the idea to do it? And tell us more about it.
So I started my own podcast, and someone tried to join my podcast.
Yeah, that seemed like less work than actually starting one all by myself. So
yeah,
that's pretty great. That's real smart. You know, you don't have to like reinvent the wheel that way. I get that. You know, that's really great. So how can our viewers listen to Kurt and Jen start a podcast?
So we are on all podcast platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify. So we're on all of them. And if you type in Kurt and Jen into Google, then we are the entire front page of the Google page. We have knocked off Kurt and Jen Mucha, who got married in 2017. They're on the second page now.
I mean, high stakes here, high stakes.
That
you
really
have
is.
made it.
Right. So yeah, our podcast, we talk about every week, we talk about a band that we like, and we talk about the humor that these bands bring to their music. Since we're both comedians and we both love music, we thought that this would be a fun way to, talk about music and go off on several tangents during the podcast. But mostly it's aimed at talking about these musicians.
It's been
how many episodes do you guys currently have?
We have 52 episodes out now. Yeah, including all of our bonus episodes. So we started back in March was our first one that was released. We started recording in February. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So we have our Monday show where we talk about the music, and then we have a Thursday show, which we've added recently. We call it B-Sides, where we talk about nothing and play games. So it's been a lot of fun.
So awesome. You mentioned when you started recording, was any of this due to COVID, or was this all a idea that you had prior to this crazy year?
So Kurt and I are also an improv duo called Salt and Pepper. And we really liked playing together, and we were doing March Madness, which is an improv competition, and we decided that it would be fun to do something afterwards and still get to banter and have a great time. So
I love it.
So
that's really smart.
Yeah, we're just not one of the 100,000 new podcasts that started in March. We actually started a little bit before that big wave, but we get mixed in with them. So
yeah. Well, I love that you focus on different bands every week. What are one of your favorite musical groups that you've talked about on your podcast?
My favorite was a listener pick. It was I Don't Know How, But They Found Me. And they described them in like a very interesting way. They said that they were like this mix between like eclectic Devo sound and corporate satire. And I was like, I obviously love this band already, and I've listened to nothing. And yeah, they're my favorite band now.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
That's
because
great.
That honestly doesn't happen. When we find music, we usually stick to it. I know for me personally, finding a new artist, I'm very skeptical at first. I'm like, let me hear a couple tracks off the album.
Show me what you got
10 times, and then we'll decide.
Very picky. Yeah. I hear you on that. Oh my gosh. Well, in a world that thrives on a live audience, which I know I'm a performer myself, how have you had to adapt doing improv during COVID?
Yeah.
So it's been pretty tough, and I find it fairly difficult to do the improv over the Zoom or what have you. But the format that Jen and I do is called a mono scene, which is basically just two people doing improv together in a single scene, and that works pretty well. That's like one of the best formats, I think, for doing improv over the internet. So we've done that a few times, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You mentioned one of the teams that you're on, Salt and Pepper, but you guys also have another team that you guys participate in for the Tucson Improv Movement. What is that team and how do they differ?
So we also do the game show, of which I am the host, and Jen is one of the improvisers on the game show. And it is a live and improvised game show. And we have had fabulous contestants on that show, including one, Krystal Pino, who has appeared twice on the game show. And Krystal is 1-1.
I was telling Krystal, her and I were talking about it today. I was like, it was so close. I'm like, you can't tell I'm competitive, can you? Because I really wanted that
0%.
Kurt and I have both lost. So good job getting that one. You are way ahead of us.
Jeez.
Yeah.
This improv seems so it's so interesting to me. And I know you guys do this all the time, but is there any way that we could do a little improv right now?
Oh, anything. That's fun.
Anything. We'll help if you want.
Would you like to see a little bit of what Jen and I do, or do you want to join us?
Yes, we'd love to.
Do your thing.
Okay. Can we get a suggestion of a household object, please?
I'm going to say a cookie cutter. Cookie cutter's mine.
I say spatula.
Or vacuum.
I like cookie cutter. What do you think, Jen?
I like cookie cutter.
All right. The kids are coming over any second now, and we told them that we were going to bring a huge batch of cookies, and we are totally behind the eight ball here. What are we going to do?
Let's reframe this. They are going to cooking the cookies with us. That's what we're going to do, right?
Oh,
it's going to be great. It's going to be fabulous.
That is great. Put the onus on them. Make them feel bad about not having the cookies done.
Exactly. And then we'll do it chopped style, and we'll judge our children based on which one presents the best cookie to us.
Oh, that is great. It's finally a chance for Billy to beat Susie at something. That is exactly what we need.
Is the winner in this family. You know that.
Oh.
I mean, don't tell Billy that he's not my favorite, but Susie.
I am just learning about this. That is very enlightening.
Oh! That's fantastic.
That was impressive.
Yay! Thank you.
And Billy, we just want you to know we don't have favorites, Billy. We all like you.
There's no favorites. Right?
Come on, we've all got kids. We know.
But I mean, the favorite changes from day to day. Let's be honest about that too. Like, on Tuesday, the one kid's the favorite. And on Thursday, you're like, you know what? You showered today. Now you're my favorite.
That's a low bar, Krystal.
Yeah.
Well, I have boys. I have preteen boys. And holy goodness, are they starting to smell awful. I made one, I came in the living room. I'm like, man, I smell boy, but I don't see anyone. And he was tucked up in the corner. I could smell him before I saw him. I made him get right in the shower. And you have to have to lean in and be like, use soap. Because he'll just be in there to splash around in water.
It starts young. I have a 7-year-old boy and a 4-year-old boy, and they are stinky.
They stink. They stink so bad.
I have a 15-year-old boy who is in the middle of basketball tryouts. I win.
You win.
You absolutely win. That gym bag, as soon as it comes home, it doesn't enter the house. It's like, nope, stay right there. You know what it makes me wonder, though? Because I have 3 daughters who don't enjoy showers like most kids that we're discussing right now. Doesn't it make you wonder, what are you doing in there if you're not washing your hair? Are you having a full-on opera in there? Because that's usually what I hear with mine.
Are you pretending to be a mermaid in there? I mean, what is happening?
some good acoustics, you know?
Oh,
It
yes.
is.
Everyone can do it.
I do agree.
I do want to definitely talk more about the Tucson Improv, which again, I am highly supportive of, especially in a time like right now. And Kurt, I know you mentioned that with the quarantine and COVID, it's been a little rough, but we could all use some laughter. And you guys are actually participating in the Tucson Improv Movement's Tucson Comedy Arts Festival. Like literally when the show's over, you're jumping over there. Tell us what that is.
Yes, as a matter of fact, right after this, the Tucson Comedy Arts Festival is a festival that goes on every year. I believe that we're on the 6th year now, and we get national acts that come and performs, and we've got local acts from all the different improv theaters in town, stand-up, sketch, and we're doing it again this year, although it's all virtual, and we're kicking it off tonight with the Improvathon, which is a multi-hour improv jam and lots of different shows going on. I am hosting the next hour. So after your audience is done watching Candidly Krystal, then jump on over to the Tucson Improv Movement. You can check out me hosting the last hour of the Improvathon.
That's so fantastic. Oh my gosh. You just that's why you're in the tux. I thought you dressed up for us, you know? You just have all the jobs. It's both. It's both. I have to show this from Jen Jordan. Boys, from pee smell to gym bag smell. Great. That's basically what it is.
It's exactly what it is. Oh my gosh. You know what? I think a lot of people take for granted how much laughter is healing. I know I hadn't done a lot of stuff before I appeared on the most recent game show with you guys. And after that night, I'm like, oh, I remember how that feels. I remember to just be laughing with a group of friends. For you guys being the performers, how much does that mean to you guys to actually jump back in, even though it's a completely different environment than what you're used to?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. It is it's really inspiring and happy and wonderful to just, get with your friends and make something silly happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
At the end of every show, we always, kind of get together and talk and decompress. And we, it's just fun chatting with, the funniest friends that you have. And then, and then at the end of it, we're like, man, we need to do this in person sometime soon. So it's a little bit of melancholy note at the end, but for the most part, it's just really fun to do.
Yeah.
I love it.
I hear that. You guys are so funny and so wonderful. Thank you for coming on to our show. We want to remind everybody that they are the hosts of Kurt and Jen Start a Podcast, and they're also improv comedians for the Tucson Improv Movement. Make sure to like Tucson Improv Movement on Facebook. Kurt and Jen, thank you so much for coming on our show. You're wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Good luck
you guys.
hosting, Kurt.
Yeah, have a great night.
And you can find more info on them at Kurt and Jen Make a Podcast, Tucson Improv, all the links right there in front of you. Kurt and Jen pod@gmail.com if you have more questions for them.